Hello friends, good morning, good evening, and namaskar. Once again, it gives me a great privilege to be part of these sessions, and I want to really appreciate your overwhelming responses. And we keep repeating this each time. The only objective for these sessions are not to get more subscriptions and views. Sorry, I'm not running a campaign for election, or neither am I standing in any kind of voting, right? We are all normal citizens of India, we are all friends, and we have that important responsibility to support each other. How we could build our lives, contributing our experiences or sharing our experiences to others. So, the mantra I want to repeat, the only objective of your life should be you got to be an overcomer. Never give up is also another mantra, but how do you execute never give up is how you find ways to overcome some of these anxieties, depressions, failures, and all sorts of problems we have in life. And no life is without a problem. All of us agree to that, right? You may be a teenager, you may be a mid-aged professional, or you may be a newly married person, or you may be an elder, it doesn't matter. Challenges and difficulties and problems in life occurs and it crosses our path at regular intervals, and there is only a difference in the kind of or threshold or degree in the type of problems we face, but problems are inevitable, all right, and mankind should be able to be overcomers. Yet another session, yet another topic, and it's going to be a very short session. The title of this topic or the title of this session is going to be rage. Rage means immediately people connect it with road rages. Why? Because it's commonly called as road rage. And there is so much of attention towards road rage because it's quite interesting how we punched, how they punched each other's face. Most of us are in Bangalore, correct? No, and many people also are distributed across the cities in the the peripherals of the world. But in Bangalore, I personally have been a long timer in Bangalore, not a Bangalorean, but in Bangalore, I witnessed so many fights. Why? Because traffic is one problem which the city has not yet overcome, and we are all striving hard as genuine citizens. And government is also putting every effort. They are connecting metro lines and this and that, but it's not completely solved. The road rages are nothing but how it starts, I'll tell you, and then we will talk about rage as a universal topic, and we will talk about this little tips to overcome and this and that. My observation, I'll tell you, maybe it is the same. Two guys, they come and they meet almost like dashing. See, if they have dashed, that's a totally a different thing. One guy is definitely wrong, or both of them are equally wrong. That's a different situation, but I'll talk about the easy thing to discuss. They have not yet dashed, right? This guy will be looking at him and that guy will be also staring at him. Both will be staring at each other. The stray dogs, that is also quite common in Bangalore, correct? They don't immediately go and maul at each other, but they will be kind of having a look which is conveying some sort of anger, bitterness, disappointment, and whatever, right? That's exactly the technical meaning of rage is nothing but all these three parameters put together. You understood, huh? Then it will be showing that gum, the dogs, right? It will be something like that. I don't want to make that, you will get scared. Make that face. You all know what I'm talking about. Then slowly this guy who's ruling that place will convey the message, the dog fellow, because he is the regular resident and that guy is a visitor. We all know this mantra pretty much, correct? No, or this formula we know well pretty much because this is our day-to-day experience. And this guy will be saying, "Why not me? Be part of this territory and all that." Finally, they will fight like dogs because they are dogs, which is a genuine theology or which is a genuine principle because they are dogs. But the same principle you will find on this example which I told you. They've not yet dashed, no damage. But it's all about that rage, or the egos that I am wrong, I am right, and you are wrong. That the same, the guy in the opposite side also thinks the same. I am right and you are wrong. And then this guy says in Kannada or something like that, Enappa, Nodalva, something like that. And this guy says, no, I have seen what you have not seen, and whatever. Then the conversation, builds up. Then this guy comes out, steps out, and ultimately they start punching at each other's face. I've witnessed many events. Most of the rage that you see, road rages that you see in the middle of the streets, it starts with the conversation, and the conversation, the trigger for conversation is something that is inside, right, going inside. their mind or heart, and they bring it out through the words of their mouth, and the words of their mouth converts or transformed into an action. They start punching. This is exactly what happens. This is the pattern. This is the general pattern with any kind of rage that you see. Rage is being witnessed in the middle of workplaces, right? Email rages. Have you seen? We are all, most of us are IT professionals, or some of them are in different field. Email rages. They will fight like dogs. Emails, 20, 30 mail trails, right? Or if you may be working in some other banking industry or anywhere, this guy will walk into his manager's cabin, complain against that guy, and that guy will be watching that from a distance. Then this guy is out, and now is my turn. Then he walks into the manager cabin and he talks about that guy, right? Both of them are individually witnessing their rage to the manager, but none of this is going to resolve the problem. First, let us understand the very reason for rage. Already, I gave you a hint. The very reason for the rage is being judgmental on a person, right? You are literally judgmental, calling that person, he is wrong and I am right. This attitude will definitely not resolve problems, it will only create more problems. In fact, it will add more fuel to the burning fire. Many of us have this attitude of always walking with a can of petrol, right? Where I can burn the fuel, where I can pour more fuel to the burning fire. So you should first of all drop that can, pick another can, and what is in that can? That's called as water, and water is a good source to put down the fire. And what is water? Water is nothing but opening up your ears, being broad minded, opening up your mind, being a broad minded fellow, walking up to the next person. Hey, understand, you're angry with me, maybe I'm wrong, right? You can lower your standard, you lose nothing, I'll tell you. It'll allow the opponent, it'll allow the person who's on the opposite side also to mellow down, right? A soft answer turns away an angry person. That is a proverb. Don't ask me where it is. I won't tell you. You will find out in Google also, right? And a soft answer, always approach a person. You may be angry. Obviously, that other person is wrong. Fine. But how do you get into a kind of a settlement, a conclusion? It's all about walking towards that person. It's about approachability. It's about how you want to approach a problem. Because if your intention is all about resolving the problem, obviously you'll be the first person who will step forward towards a dialogue, not a monologue. Monologue is judgmental, dialogue is taking you towards the resolution, right? I'm not trying to be philosophical, but these are the practical facts. I have made few notes, and the notes are all in my other mini computer, so I'm just going through it. Some of the parameters which is tightly coupled. See, I'm simply not reading from Google. Don't immediately switch off. This is really bad attitude. You are judgmental on me. I've done few researches and I've handpicked that are important. We will close in 2-3 minutes only, so I have some patience. Irritability, right? You have irritation towards someone. Probably you began your day with a fight, right, between husband and wife, and you're showing that rage towards your colleague. Frustration about many things that are happening in the world, right? Many things are happening that are not in our control. For example, the political topics, economical topics, these are all not in our control, but you are frustrated. Why? Because you just filled your petrol tank, and in India petrol prices are skyrocketing, and your anger is on someone else or something else. Immediately when a guy crosses the path unnoticingly, you're about to dash him, but you braked, and then you yell at him, and then you have end up in a fight with a pedestrian, something like that, right? Frustrations on various things also can be contributing towards this rage. And sometimes when you dig through the root cause now, it'll be really funny. It'll be something else actually, and that is not the reason for the fight. Something else is the reason, and anxiety. Probably you're looking for a job change, or you had a very challenging boss and you want a different boss, and it didn't happen on time. Unfortunately, you cannot have a different wife. You have to live with your wife. But bosses you can change, companies you can change, but the anxiety is building, and that's a positive anxiety. There is no problem with that, right? And stress. People work long hours and all that. You had a night out, and then the next day morning you take your car, or maybe you are traveling by metro. One guy slightly rubbed his shoulders, that's it. Immediately you will stare at him, hey, something like that. Why? Because you are already stressed. And many people know they skip breakfast. You don't understand this. I'll tell you what, don't skip breakfast. The reason is there is a gap of almost like 16 hours from the time you have had dinner. It depends when you're having dinner. The normal time to have dinner is 9 p.m. at least. Okay, some people have dinner at 12 a.m. in the morning. I'm not talking about such people. 9 p.m. if you have dinner and you skip breakfast, the interval is like 14 to 16 hours. One cup of coffee won't be sufficient. Your system is waiting for appetite. Why? Because your sugar levels will go down. You're not a diabetic, agreed, but your sugar levels will go down. If your sugar levels go down, that means your irritation will skype up, or hype up, and then with all that hyper, you will be a short tempered, hot tempered person. This is also one of the reasons. Some people have guilt conscious that they are not able to resolve many problems in their life. They've taken a debt, they don't know how to repay. They begot two children and the third one came for free. They don't know how it happened, and they do not know how to bring up all these children. So many things are running in their mind. So you don't have solution for everything. They get guilty, they feel guilty about it, that I'm not able to resolve, I'm only battling with the problems without a solution. All this contributes or encompassed within this one word called as rage. Very important. Now, there are three types of anger that we could see in life. First is outward, very, very easy to handle such people, very expressive, extroverts, they will pour out everything. So, this involves expressing your anger and aggression in an obvious way, and they will be also clearly explaining this is the reason I'm angry with you, and they're very honest, transparent. They're also ready to excuse and say sorry also. Very easy to deal with such people. Are you one of those? Blessed is your family, blessed is your colleague, blessed is your boss. So something like that. The second category is inward category. The type of anger is directed as yourself. Everything, monologue, and a dialogue with him and himself. I, myself, and me, we will talk to each other. We will not discuss anything with anyone. Have you seen such people? Very, very tough to deal with such personalities. They are introverts. They will be, some people's lips will be moving. No noise will be heard. What? They are talking in their heart. Or in fact, they are having rage in their heart and something like that. They will be in the middle of work, but the lips will be something like that. That means they are talking to themselves. Very tough. You need to really bring things out, right? If you cannot talk immediately, no problem. At least share it with your friend, with your wife, with your husband, with your children. Sometimes I go approach my child and I talk to her. I talk to my daughter about the problems at workplace, and sometimes I feel very relieved, right? There is also third category, passive. This involves using what to say, subtle and indirect ways to express their anger. Sarcastic, something like, barking dogs seldom bite. You want to call that guy dog, but you are using some proverbs like this. And what? Somehow you want to express your rage, but these are neither extroversial not nor introversial. Somewhere, in a neutral way. Are you one of those? I'll tell you what, you are even more a dangerous category than an introversial candidate. At least the fellow is not opening his mouth, but you're opening your mouth and you're creating more problems, more rage. And this guy turns and says, what did you say? Are you calling me a dog? And I did not call you a dog. Did I call you? And since the fight starts. So how to deal with this? The anger issue management is very simple. Beloved, I think you know, my friends, you know. Many are involved in yoga. Christians, they read Bible and they worship God early in the morning. And Hindu brothers and sisters, they go to temple. Muslim brothers and sisters, they go to mosque. You're able to completely overcome. I'm not trying to be religious here. I'm not trying to justify or tell which religion is better than this and that, but you all have your methods. Some people go for jogging, I go for regular walking. Some people go to gym, thinking of his boss or something like that. He increases the weight and he kind of, what to say, works out in the gym. But when he comes out, he is a double angry person. This is all not going to fix. This will be a temporary solution. You will feel temporary. And some people, psychiatrists, they advise, write the name of a person in a piece of paper, tear the paper into pieces, burn it up, and mix it up in kind of a water and pour it into the ditch. What will happen? Nothing will happen. If the guy is still alive, no? You have written in the paper and you have conducted a funeral ceremony, but the guy is still alive, no? Next day morning when you meet him, what you will feel? Or the same day you meet him, what you will feel? Same again. So you will be running with piece of paper all the time with a pen and writing down. That's stupidity, correct? No? So some of the tips what we want to leave behind is, please reinvent the wheels, right? Maybe there are some corrections needed in you. Definitely, if you're moving around in this world being judgmental that every time, all the time, the people are wrong and I am right, you will never be able to fix a single problem. Secondly, maybe people are wrong, you're right, but still, there is a way to convey the message, right? There is a way to help people to discover their problems. Continue to work with them. Treat them as your friends. Dissolve enmity, right? Do not look at them as a person who is having full of problems and you are free of problems. Maybe they are bad at few areas, but you are also bad in few areas. And is not the world tolerating with you? Obviously you also have a responsibility to tolerate your friend, your colleague, your fellow citizen of India, correct? No? And therefore you give them an opportunity, you start working with them. Yeah, put your efforts, be patient. Third is the next principle: have lot of patience and tolerance. In a country like India, I don't have to tell you why you should have patience, why you should have tolerance, right? All of us have that patience and tolerance in us, but please increase it. If it is 10%, increase it to 12 or 13. If it is 40, increase it to 50. I think these are the three important facts. And the fourth important fact also I want to tell you, which you are already doing perhaps: introspection. Please, before reinventing the wheels, you need to rediscover or discover at least who you are, what is inside you. So, a piece of paper and a pen also will help you to do that. In the top 10 things you hate the most, start ticking what you can fix, what you cannot fix, what is in control, what is not in your control. You will be able to classify. Just put a simple arithmetic or a formula and try to discover. And at least out of 10 top 10 problems, you can fix one or two, three problems which is under your control, right? Probably you hate them somebody so much, you could walk to them and say that I'm sorry for whatever I've done. Let us be good friends from now onwards. At least one problem is fixed out of 10, easily fixable, correct? No, one phone call. You can make a phone call and fix. So you got to rediscover, to reinvent the wheels. And what are the steps to reinvent the wheels? Patience, tolerance, and building friendship, dissolving enmity. I think this is enough. Because everything else you are already following. Our India nation is known for yoga. All of us are doing breathing exercise, yoga, and the religious practices, this and that. That is all taken care, but it's not fully fixing the problems. I think these are the things which will really help you. Hope the session was useful. I will not ask you to subscribe to our channel because we do many other sessions related to many other topics which may be appropriate, not appropriate, but you're welcome. Be subscribers. But watch out for videos. Reach out to me if you need any other topics. If you need any help on specific areas, we will come back to you. We will host a session on those areas too. God bless you. Take care. I'll meet you soon in the next session. Namaskar. Thank you.